Okay, I have some good memories here in Notre Dame of playing P basketball with my P basketball buddies here in the gym. Also, good memories of some of the teachers. One of the teacher was a Holy Ghost priest. Now they're known as Spiritans. Father Evanstock. He taught me calculus in my senior year, and he'd always start out the class talking about his favorite college football team, the Arizona State Sun Devils. He was a real Sun Devil fan, so he spent about 5 minutes talking about his Sun Devils, and then kind of loosened us up so we can get into the real serious stuff of calculus after that. So he had a really good way of getting the material across. And of course, we're located here right across from St. Catherine's, which was also at that time staffed by the Holy Ghost priests. And another Holy Ghost priest was taught physics, Father Planasek. He was a real tough guy, but you didn't mess around with in his class. If you did, you got to the whole class got to run laps on the field. Things got out of hand, but there was just the atmosphere, though, that the faith matters, the Catholic faith matters, that was somehow present and all through not only the Theo classes, but all the classes here at Notre Dame. I somehow got that sense that there's a faith perspective that kind of help us make sense of what's going on and also what we're learning. What's the importance of what we're learning, because there's supreme intelligence behind everything that we experience, everything that exists in the world. And that's why we can have something like science, because we assume there's something intelligible about the world. And that's, in a sense, there's a presumption behind that even though it's not spoken many times, that somebody knew what he was doing when he put this world together and put our lives together. So that was very important for my experience here at Notre Dame. And we had good experiences with PE, with intramural sports and PE also, flag football, that kind of thing. So, and following our football team, which won CIF for the first time that year, and they also won CIF in baseball. Unfortunately, we didn't have a yearbook on my senior year, the year we won it all, but had to record that. But other than that, so. And yeah, so those are some of my cherished memories here at Notre Dame. So where I grew up, we were the only practicing Catholic family on the whole block, the street that we lived on. So that made me at least appreciate our Catholic faith all the more. And my parents made sure we went to Mass on every Sunday and make it to confession once a month, sent us to Catholic school. I went to first grade to Our Lady of the Rosary Academy in San Bernardino, and we had a Houston Dominican sister, Sister Mary Grace, was my teacher, and she made a big impression on me with and as I learned my Baltimore Catechism to make my first communion there at the age of 6, that also made an impression on me. And then continuing my Catholic education in another school where my siblings were at, St. Anne's, also in San Bernardino. And the May crownings, that was one thing I recall from Catholic school, the crowning of the Blessed Mothers and the Rosary. And at one point also my mom tried to get us to do the family rosary at home, but I wasn't too thrilled about that, unfortunately. But later on I changed my mind, and rosary became important to me. But I did it on my own. And at some point I also started serving Mass at Our Lady of Fatima Parish and going to daily Mass with my older sister, and I would be the server and she'd be there, and there's just one other Mexican lady and the priest. There'd just be a very small number of us at the daily Mass every day, but that also made an impression on me that it was important to be there when other people chose not to be there. It was all the more important for me to be there when others chose not to be there. And then later on, of course, in school also they had the Holy Childhood Association, so they promoted what they interest in the missions, the Catholic missions. And once in a while they show a movie of the missionaries working out in the field, trying to spread the faith in foreign countries, and that made an impression on me. And then later on, a Divine Word missionary priest came to our school and gave a talk about the work of missionaries, and he gave out a little leaflet afterwards if you're interested to fill it out, and they'd follow up with you. So that's how I joined the Future Priest Club that they had at that time for the Divine Word missionaries, and we had our high school seminary right here in Riverside. So things went. I came on a weekend to check it out, and then I decided to come here as a high school seminarian. So that's how one thing led to the other. Also, different priests made an impression on me in my younger days too. And going to Mass and hearing the words non sum dignus in Latin, I'm not worthy, that made an impression on me. Hear the priest say the words in Latin, this is my body, hoc est enim corpus meum. That's another thing that made a deep impression on me when I was serving Mass. The priest would kind of breathe those words over the hosts at the time of the consecration. That also made an impression on me. So there's a series of different things, many more I could mention, but those are some of the ones that come to my mind at this time, or how they were the beginning of my call to the priesthood. Okay, well, I have other interests. I'm thinking of what I would have been if I had not been a priest. I'm thinking my older brother said, he asked one time, can you be a priest and run a hamburger stand at the same time? That appealed to him. That wasn't my idea though, but I was interested in science, and I used to read science fiction books when I was younger, so I could imagine myself going to outer space, that kind of thing, as an astronaut or something like that. That kind of appealed to me, But different science-related things appealed to me. Also the Isaac Asimov to write this stuff called I, Robot, about so dealing with robots and things like that. And I found that interesting. But another one that caught my attention was The Lord of the Rings, but that's not exactly science fiction, but that was another one of my favorites that I reading when I was younger. And I like the outdoors. I like to hike in the outdoors. I do that as often as I can. Riding a bicycle, I still try to do that somewhat, at least once a week. So I enjoyed playing handball when I was in high school. There's one priest I used to play handball with a lot when I was a freshman at Divine Word. Going to other foreign countries, that's one of the things that appealed to me as a missionary, and I've had a chance to do that. So I've been to a number of different foreign countries. I've had the privilege of learning a foreign language, learning Spanish. Of course, that opens all kinds of doors to you, so that was found that also very appealing. So those are the few of the things that are my interests. I still follow the space program. I'm kind of interested in seeing if we're going to finally get back to the moon. And they're supposed to put somebody back on the moon by 2024. We hope that they can meet that deadline. So I'm still very following that pretty closely to see what happens with they call the Space Launch System, the new moon rocket, and the Artemis, which would be the new lunar rocket that will launch on top of the main booster. So all that's kind of interesting to me. So, and I still follow sports, of course. Yeah, I'll follow basketball, baseball, things like that. So I'm thrilled that the Dodgers finally won the World Series, and the Lakers won the championship. That's a big deal to me. So those are some of the things that I find interesting.